Well, welcome everyone to the 2020 Housing Innovation Awards. I'm so happy that you could join us today. If you're one of our award-winning builders, we've already spoken to some extent, and I'm happy to talk to you more. If you're here attending, we're happy to have you to help us celebrate these amazing builders. Before we start, I have a few housekeeping announcements, and then we'll have a few more later as we get into the actual award presentations. If everyone could please keep your audio on mute so that we don't have any background noise unless you're the person presenting at that moment, and you know who you are if you're a presenter. Also, for your video feed, if you're one of our award-winning builders, you'll activate that video feed when we get to your category. So please wait to do that, just so that we only have a certain number of videos to manage. I'd like to also remind you that when we do get to your category, please give us a wave once you've got that video feed on. We'd love to see you as we talk about your home. I'll talk a little bit more about that when we start the award presentation. For now, I'd like to thank EBA for hosting us once again this year. It's been a great partnership, and I'm excited to be doing this virtually, even though we couldn't do it in person. I'd like to now introduce Aaron Smith with the EBA, who is the CEO of EBA, and he's going to give us a welcome and show us a little bit of a video. So please stay tuned for that. I'm sure you're going to enjoy. And Aaron, you can now share your screen.
Okay, I think we're figuring it all out here. We're all getting really good at Zoom. Well, Joe, I want to thank you so much. This is the 7th year that we have co-located the DOE Housing Innovation Awards and the EBA Summit. I think first year was 2013, but since 2014, we've been together in person. This is the first year where we're together virtually. And I wanted so much to meet every single one of you. You know, this group, if you're within earshot of my voice, you represent the early adopters and the innovators and the people that the entire industry looks up to. So we're always so excited to hear from all of you and get a chance to meet you. But I'm very proud to be a part of recognizing the best of the best in high performance homes. And Sam, you've been my idol for a long time. You didn't know it, but I've always looked up to Sam. But the DOE Zero Energy Ready Home program, it's an integral part of almost every EBA builder, all EBA builders, and what we strive for and what we do. So excited for today. I hope you'll join us in the rest of the conference. You should have received a conference pass, one per participant, but we'd love to have you there. I think that the ability to learn and share and collaborate and share best practices over the next 2 weeks is just of paramount importance. And then as we look forward to 2021, we'll be back in Denver, September 14th through 16th. So rather than listen to me, I thought we would listen to some of the Zero Energy Ready Home and EBA community members and hear what they have to say about this great community that we put together.
We together are definitely so much more powerful than any of us alone. It's great to be in this community of like-minded builders.
I think this is a great opportunity for all of us to not only just continue to learn, right, but also support each other.
I end up after each session very encouraged to go out and build better homes.
I feel like we're pretty isolated, pretty alone as a high-performance builder, and two, as a woman builder. It's nice to, you know, coexist with this great group of people that I've learned so much.
We are in the company of the best, and we will become the best as if we'll stay on this path. The market has come to us, the opportunity is there, and it's our time.
Fantastic. So just a quick plug, we have started an EBA builder benchmark group this past year. I think we have 10, 11 builders as part of that today. We meet monthly to share best practices. So beyond the summit, there's other great things that are coming. So I will stop my share on my screen, and I believe I'm turning it over to Sam Rashkin, the
No,
architect. Are you going to go back to you, Joe?
Just stop it and I'll
Stop.
take it from there. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay, Sam, you can take it from there. And we should, there we go. There you go, Sam.
Okay, hey, thank you, Joe. And whenever I'm asked how DOE brings this national program for, again, the best of the best high performance homes to the market on such a small budget, I'm always quick to answer with it. It's an easy question. We have an amazing dream team. And I think the first thing I want to do before I begin some comments is introduce you to the amazing staff that make this program happen. And so first, Sam Bowles, also known as Sam Jr., is our communications director. He continually delivers highly effective marketing and sales resources with amazing limited budget, and he makes sure everything's accessible to our partners. So Sam's great. Next up is Jamie Lyons. He's my tag team presentation partner and technical director. He provides kind of a steady hand, ensuring a real thoughtful progression of program requirements. He provides outstanding training, partner support. He's just amazing resource for us. I'm going to leave Joe for last. Terrence Mosley is next, also serving double duty as my personal bodyguard. He's our statement engagement manager. He's a recent gift to our team who brings wisdom, passion, and charm, engaging states, local governments, and utilities to really deploy zero energy ready home. I also like to call out my partner in crime, Eric Whirling. He's been a collaborator for decades. He's kind of in the background as a kind of a touchstone for the program, providing ongoing insights. So I love having Eric as a collaborator. And last but not least, Joe Nebbia is our operations director. He does an amazing job managing all the program services, tracking, support, including the roundtable meetings, Housing Innovation Awards. And this year, I left him for last because he's done just this incredible job pivoting, adapting this new technology, optimizing it. Already the first time out of the chute, we had a great roundtable meeting yesterday. So just been fantastic. And do I have my slides coming up next, Joe? Yeah, okay, great. So what I want to do, Joe generously gave me 7 minutes or so to just kind of tee things off. I want to provide context for the Housing Innovation Awards, and each year I try to do that. And so I'm going to demystify zero and show how critical you are to a larger zero movement. So the next slide shows key factors that all contribute to zero energy buildings. It's about high performance, the building science, the air quality, even the water, the resilience, all these performance factors we have to address. Then it's about annual energy consumption, making the house or building so efficient that we minimize energy use, and it can be with or without electricity. And then there's renewable energy to offset the energy consumption. And finally, hanging in the wings is this embodied energy component that represents the other energy embedded in materials and what it takes to extract, to process them, to ship them, to use them, to kind of end of use, process them again. So all these factors contribute to the zero movement. And what I want to do as we go to the next slide is show you this kind of journey we're all on. It begins with a code minimum home. So if we go to the next slide, we see embodied energy is something that overlays all these operational energy staircase steps I'm going to walk you through. Next slide. So the key is I'm going to show you a chart. The gray bar will be with all the factors we just talked about. The gray bar will be high performance. The green bars, dark and light, will be with and without fossil fuel. The yellow bar will be renewable energy, and the embodied energy will be the orange. And I'll use these key factors to show how you staircase through the zero movement. So let's go first to code minimum. So in a code minimum home, the performance is relatively at some level code can get you to. It's not nearly as high as we'd like. The energy and the annual energy can be with or without fossil fuel, so it's light green, and it's usually pretty high. And then there's renewable energy is not required, so you can't even see the yellow bar. And you have a pretty high embodied energy, but it's a small fraction of the actual annual energy use in the home. So we step up to high performance homes. Next slide. And what we do is we ramp up the performance, we drop down the annual energy, and it can be with or without fossil fuel. And we still don't have a requirement for renewable. And now you still have the same embodied energy for the materials, but it's becoming a bigger slice of the pie. Next slide. So now we get to zero energy ready. And what we do is bump up performance even more rigorous air quality, more rigorous attention to comfort and to water protection. We have even lower energy use. So we take down the energy use. We still are open to either with fossil fuel or without. Still no renewable energy requirement. And now you see that the embodied energy is actually becoming the same or greater than the actual green bar, the energy use in the building. So embodied energy is getting more and more significant. We go to zero net energy, and the big difference here is now we use renewable to offset the annual energy consumption. And when we go to zero net carbon next, what we're doing right now is we're now going for all electric buildings that use renewable energy resources to the maximum extent. So there's no net carbon associated with the building. And so now embodied energy is really significant. And when we go to net positive carbon, what we do is try to bump up the renewables so that we start to account for the embodied energy. And so this is the whole kind of myriad of programs out there that are related to zero. And it's a framework for how we can understand where we are. So if we go to the next slide, what I show is there's all this, like I said, plethora of programs, all related to zero, and now they make sense. They fit in one place or the other. And if you click one more time, here we are, Zero Energy Ready Home. We're the gateway when you're really ready to go as far as you want to go to carbon. We're the foundation for that to happen. It's very easy to take a Zero Energy Ready home and add the renewable. It's solar ready. So you can always go to zero net energy anytime you want. Zero net carbon is about starting at the beginning with an all electric home. So if you want to do that, do Zero Energy Ready with all electric and you're positioned for zero net carbon. And net positive carbon is just about putting in even additional renewable energy to have a kind of a reserve to address the embodied energy. So this is the framework. And the reason you're so important is you're the leaders establishing this gateway for a steady, easy, sequential staircase to net positive carbon. And we got to go there. Buildings are 40% of total energy consumption and emissions. Buildings consume 75% approximately of all the electricity. Of that 75% electricity, 80% comes from fossil fuel. There's no path to the climate risk management we need that doesn't go through a zero energy building movement. We have to have zero energy buildings. And this work that you're doing, these commitments that you're making are foundational to that happening. That's why we're so grateful. That's why these awards are so significant to us. And that's why we just love celebrating with you every year. Back to you, Joe.
Okay, thank you, Sam. That was really motivational as always. I think you maybe had one more slide.
Oh, okay, there you go. I just like to establish sometimes a framework that you all know you're working in. Essentially, what we do with Zero Energy Ready to build that foundation is you optimize efficiency with the enclosure, the equipment, the appliances and lighting. Then we optimize performance, water protection, comfort, air quality. And finally, we want to be future ready. And so what we do there is we are solar ready and we're looking to forthcoming codes. So buildings that should last 100 or even 200 years aren't obsolete in 3 or 4 years when we know where codes are going. And lastly, looking forward to true future readiness, we want to also look at resilience as something for the future. You hit it one more time. It's the future of where we want to go with Zero Energy Ready Home. So there you go. Boy, I had this wonderful closing, made me go back and do one more slide.
Well, it was important content, so thank you, Sam. As Sam mentioned, I'm Joe Nebbia with Newport Partners, and I have had the privilege for since I think 2012 to serve as the operations director for the Zero Energy Ready Home program and also the Housing Innovation Awards coordinator. This is one of my favorite times of year when we get to present this. I'm sorry that it can't be in person. I always enjoy seeing all of you, but it's going to be a lot of fun anyway. I'd like to thank EBA one more time for allowing us to exist within their conference. This is the 7th consecutive year that we've had the awards at EBA, the 8th total for Housing Innovation Awards. Each award-winning home that you see today will have a digital poster created. It's already posted on the Housing Innovation Awards website, so you can go there now or after the ceremony and look at that poster. I really encourage you to do that. Each home will also have a Tour of Zero profile created. If you haven't seen those, they're a really great way to showcase to the consumer what we're doing. Each grand winner will be asked to be part of a panel immediately following this ceremony. I encourage everyone to stay and hear what they have to say. Each of those grand winners often has great insights that they make in an acceptance speech. We're not going to do that this time. Instead, we're going to have a panel, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And then finally, right after the grand winner panel, 4 o'clock Central Time, hopefully everybody can do the conversion themselves, we will have 3 networking receptions that are being held through the EBA conference app. And you can meet with different members of the team and with each other at those things. So I encourage you to stop by just for a few minutes and say hello. So please remember all of those things. I'd like to take just a moment to thank our judges. And one thing that I think is really important about our judging process is that every year we use independent judges. We use a panel of judges that are industry experts, academic experts, people who know marketing, people who know sales, people who know building science, government representatives, sometimes builders if we can get them and they're not competing this year, energy raters, all sorts of different people who know building science and know how to build what we're doing. We rotate them through to different categories and we rotate different judges in and out each year. So this process is totally neutral, and it allows us to have results that we can really stand behind at the end of the day. So I'd like to take a moment to thank each of these judges. First, Sandy Adamatis with Adamatis Appraisal Services. Marcus Bianchi with NREL. Tommy Bowles with EPA's Indoor Air Plus program. Carla Butterfield with Stephen Winter Associates. Andre Desjardins with Oak Ridge National Lab. Steve Easley with Steve Easley and Associates, Ann Edminster from Design Avenues, Krista Egger from the Enterprise Green Communities, Matt Evans from Newport Ventures, Dean Gamble from Energy Star Certified New Homes, Neil Grigsby from NIA, Teresa Ham-Modley from VMDO, Tony Lasanti from Integral Building and Design, Jim Myers from SWEEP, Robbie Schwartz from Build Tank, and Carl Seville from the SK Collaborative. Many of you know these people and have worked with them in the past. We're very, very grateful for the time that they put into carefully judging each of these categories. Now, before we get into the awards, I'd like to take just a moment to talk about this year's Housing Innovation Special Honors recipients. Each year, this competition gets more and more competitive. Higher and higher quality applications get submitted. Homes that might have won 5 years ago have tougher competition, and sometimes a really deserving home just doesn't make the top cut. So we wanted to find a way to talk about these houses today that are receiving a special honor because we thought they deserved some sort of recognition. Several of these builders are on our call today. I'll mention them quickly: CVF Homes, DJK Custom Homes, EcoSun Homes, Gardner Custom Homes, Jenkins Builders, and Simple Integrity. So thank you all for applying, and all of these builders will also have a tour of Zero Profile created on their incredible home. Now, on to the awards. Before we actually present, just a couple of housekeeping items. If you're a builder who's receiving an award today, you got a panelist link. You all know about this already, but just a reminder, please keep your sound on mute. As we call your category, and here are the categories right there on the screen for you in the order that we're going to present them. At that time, please activate your video feed. That way, when we call your name and show slides on your home, you can give us all a wave, and I'm going to attempt to spotlight your video so that everybody can see you waving, smiling, giving a thumbs up, or whatever. So again, when we get to your category, here's an example. Please push the video feed button to activate it. Do not push screen share. We don't need to see whatever you've got open on your computer, but we would like to see your video feed so you can give us a wave and acknowledge the award in that way. Once we've revealed the grand award winner in your category, please deactivate your video feed again as we go on to the next category. So hopefully that's not too complicated, and it will run as smoothly as we would like it to. Finally, as we excuse me, go through this presentation, each time we're going to have some moments where we're going to need to take a pause as people activate their video feeds. You're not going to be bored. We're going to have a boredom buster question for you to ask as part of the audience. So please participate those. It'll be a lot of fun. And with that, our next presenter is going to be Jamie Lyons with Newport Partners, and I will hand it over to him as we activate our first boredom buster question.
Okay, thank you, Joe, and thank you, Sam, and everybody here for being part of this special ceremony today. Jamie Lyons with Newport Partners. Joe kind of didn't remember, even though we've worked with each other for about 14 years now. I have the honor and the privilege to serve as the technical director for the DOE Zero Energy Ready Home program. And so I'm going to get to kick off the first three categories of the awards today, and we're going to start off with affordable single-family home innovation. And we have three builders in that category. And for those of you in that category, if you could turn on that video feed like Joe just showed us. And while we do that, you guys see our first boredom buster question. And I guess I'm open to announce the answer, and it is, I see a few more people voting. Get your votes in. Sort of a Colorado preference here, but it turns out that the correct answer is Florida. That's our first boredom buster, so pat on the back if you got Florida. Okay, so moving on to the awards, our first winner in this category is a first-time HIA winner, and this is Hartford Area Habitat for Humanity. Their award-winning home includes spray foam cavity insulation, insulated sheathing, triple pane windows, an HRV for the ventilation, ductless mini splits, and transfer fans in the home for mixing. And it achieved a HERS 34 without PV, and then it went negative. It went to HERS -7, including the PV and the rating. And the new homeowner states, quote, "It's been an amazing journey working with everyone in Habitat. It was actually perfect to start a family here." So high praise. Great job, Habitat in Hartford. Our next award winner is Habitat for Humanity, South Sarasota County. And they have not only built the most zero energy ready homes of any habitat in the country, and there's a lot of them, but they're also tied for the most zero energy ready homes of any builder in Florida. So well done. This award-winning home in Northport, Florida uses an innovative combination of controlled supply and exhaust ventilation fans, along with a whole home dehumidifier to provide that fresh, dry air that's so nice to have in a humid climate. The home also includes a heat pump water heater with a manifold plumbing system and a ducted mini split. Congratulations, Michael, nice job. And then the final winner in this category is Pioneer Valley Habitat for Humanity, also winning their first HIA. This home in Northampton, Massachusetts, partnered with a modular factory to build an affordable home with double walls, a SIP roof, triple pane windows, and a really tight air tightness of 0.56 ACH50. And this is combined, they combine ductless mini splits with a CERV system that adds additional heating and cooling capacity along with the ventilation. And this home was at a HERS 35 before the PV, and it went way negative to -20, including the PV. And for the new homeowners, quote, "Our home is a blessing in many ways, such as being affordable and now no electric bill." Great job. I'm going to turn it over to Sam Rashkin to reveal the grand winner in this category.
Hey, thanks, Jamie. And the grand winner selected by our judges is, open the envelope, Hartford Area Habitat for Humanity. Congratulations, Hartford Area Habitat for Humanity.
Great work. Good job, Chris, and to all your colleagues. So we're going to keep it moving, and congratulations to all the affordable single family winners. At this time, we're going to turn it, you guys can turn off your video feed, and we're going to move on to the awards for multifamily home innovation. And we have 3 winners in this category, so we ask you to turn on your video feed. And as you might guess, we have another boredom buster while we have this gap here. No boredom allowed. So I guess I'll read this. There's no correct answer. Which of these controversial statements is the most true? Hot dog really is a sandwich. Pluto should never have lost its status as a planet. You can effectively explain the concept of zero without the word net. I know Sam Rashkin would like that. It's socially acceptable to wear white after Labor Day. This one's too close to call, Joe. I think we're just gonna have to cut it off at some point. Okay, looks like we had a tie there. Okay, so moving on to our affordable multifamily category. Our first winner is a first-time HIA winner. It's the Housing Authority of the City of Buenaventura. And their project is Rancho Verde, a 10-building, 24-unit all-electric development intended as affordable housing for agricultural workers, using heat pump water heaters, ductless mini splits, and LED lighting, along with 98 kilowatts of community solar. The development achieved net zero performance. Income qualification requirements for the development limit the residents to those with an income between 30 and 50% of area median income. So some very high quality housing for worthwhile residents to enjoy. Great job. Our next winner is the Spring Lake Phase 2 development by Mutual Housing, California. So Phase 1 of this project also won an HIA award back in 2015. This all-electric project uses heat pump water heaters, mini splits, LED lighting, along with 166 kilowatts of community solar to also reach net zero performance for all 39 units. Mutual Housing says that participating in the Zero Energy Ready Home program allows them to, quote, "provide our residents with sustainable, healthy homes that provide a safe and comfortable living environment for their families." Congratulations. And then our last winner in this category is United Way of Long Island. This project serves as an affordable community living facility for people with special needs. And it also doubles as a workforce training development opportunity for United Way's E3 Training Center. The building includes a zoned heat pump system, heat pump water heater, an ERV, as well as LED lighting, and it achieved HERS 37 before PV. With the 9 kilowatt PV system included, we're down to HERS -2. Sam Rashkin, would you like to reveal our grand winner, please?
I sure do, but I have to say, Blaine, as I look at all these homes, I'm just really impressed how competitive it was this year. But we have one winner, and the winner, grand winner selected by our judges, is United Way of Long Island. Congratulations.
Great, thank you. And congratulations to all the participants. Okay, so multifamily, you can turn back the video feeds and we'll ask the builders in the attached home innovation category to fire up the video feeds. And you guessed it, one more board investor. This one is a true or false. True or false, there were more ZERH certifications in April through June 2020 than in any entire year, 2013 through 17. We need the Jeopardy music here, Joe. But I think the group is right on the right trail. The correct answer is indeed true. So good intuition among our group here. Okay, so kicking things off in the attached home innovation category is a first-time winner, Alter Eco, and their award for the Bridgeport Twins. These zero energy ready home duplexes were the first of their kind in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania. Reaching a Hearst 38 without PV, these homes use SIPs along with triple pane windows. Also included are an ERV, ducted heat pump system, and a heat pump water heater with a plumbing manifold. It's safe to say the homeowners are happy. Listen to this quote. Quote, "I love the house. I rave about it to everyone that I come in contact with." Great job. Next up, we have Brightleaf Homes with an award for their Flipside Forest Park project. These townhomes use different approaches, each as a mini R&D project to test the efficiency, cost effectiveness, and constructability of different strategies. So while they all use the same triple pane window technology, other components were varied, like the framing technique, the weather resistant barrier, the water heater fuel and type, the HVAC fuel and type, and a variety of automation systems. And when we asked what innovation that is currently not as popular will be in the future, Brightleaf Scott Sanders says he thinks it's going to be induction cooktops, that they will be a popular way to eliminate combustion in the kitchen. And our final winner in this category is Thrive Home Builders with their Westridge 3-story row homes that we see here. Thrive has built the most zero energy ready certified homes in the state of Colorado, and we have a lot of activity there. These particular homes use blown in insulation, gas tankless water heaters, an efficient gas furnace, and LED lighting, along with PV to reach a HERS 29 with the PV. In addition, the homes are EV ready. They're wired for future electric vehicles, and they feature framing made from beetle kill lumber, which is a local sustainable material there. The homeowners are very happy with the utility savings, claiming, "I was paying 2 to 3 times the amount that I am now in a smaller apartment." So another outstanding project. Another tough call here, Sam. I'll hand it to you for the grand winner.
Hey, thanks, Jamie. Hey, it looks like one of the most prolific Grand Award winners has done it again. The winner selected by the judges is Thrive Home Builders. Congratulations.
Okay, Joe, we're going to an intermission, or I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Jamie. Next up, we always like to talk a little bit about what's going on in the program. Sometimes this is the only time of year we see some of you. So just a little bit of a change of pace here. We're not going to have a boredom buster question. So at the end, I'm going to remind some of you builders who are in the next category to activate your video feed. So first, I just want to celebrate a little because we have, you'll see there in the green, all the states that have zero energy ready homes certified in them. And this year we added a state in Tennessee. So that's the 39th state that now has active zero energy ready home builders with real certified homes on the ground. And we hope to get the rest of those states soon. If you want an idea of how the numbers spread out, obviously we have for a long time had a lot in Arizona and Colorado. California has been a big area of growth for us this year, as has Maryland and Delaware, Georgia, New Hampshire, Pennsylvania, New York, a lot of these states that have seen big jumps in participation and growth, Florida as well. So we're really excited about all of these homes, but especially those areas where things are really taking off. Just to look at how we've grown throughout the years, here's presented fiscal year, which is how we tend to count it. But we now have 6,479 homes certified as of the end of August. I don't have September's numbers yet, and that will complete our fiscal year. As you can see, there's quite an exponential growth in what we're doing around the country each year. And just real quick on the calendar year point of view, I'm really excited that we may still hit 3,000 homes in this calendar year by December. And what's driving that change? There are a whole lot of builders participating in building homes. Here's all the builders who have done 10 to 20 homes in the program. Some of these builders are small custom builders. 20 homes is a lot of homes for them. 20 to 50 homes. Have a habitat chapter in there, close to 50 homes, a whole bunch of custom, some production builders, a few multifamily builders, a big mix. Builders with 50 to 100 homes, really starting to get up there. And then builders with more than 100 homes, we have a few here, starting to get to be a smaller list. Builders with 200 homes, or more, just a couple. Builders with 300 homes or more. Builders with 400 homes or more. And then finally, we have 2 builders with 900 homes or more. And both of these builders are likely to pass 1,000 by the time I get the September data in a couple of days. So I'm really excited about that. And Mandalay is currently still our national leader with 991 total certifications since they started with the program. So congratulate them when you get a chance to see them, please. And with that, I'd like to ask each person in the custom home for buyer above 3,000 square feet to activate your video feed. And I'm going to hand it off to Sam Bowles with Newport Partners.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sam Bowles. I'm the Communications Director for the Zero Energy Ready Home Program. Our next category is custom homes for buyers. This year, we had a significant number of homes, deserving awards in the category, so we split it by size. So our first category is going to be custom homes over 3,000 square feet. 4 of the 6 award winners in this category are former grand winners, so a highly competitive group of homes here. Builders in this category should have their feeds up at this point, so I see a couple of you have them up there now. Our first Housing Innovation Award winner is BPC Green Builders. A former HIA Grand winner, BPC Green Builders works in both Connecticut and New York. This home in Trumbull, Connecticut features R37 walls, triple pane windows, and an airtight envelope down to 0.58 ACH 50. Added to that are a heat pump water heater, an ERV for ventilation, and a ducted mini split system for heating and cooling. Before PV, the home reached an impressive HERS 36 and reached all the way down to a HERS -13 with PV, making it a net producer. The home is also pre-wired for a battery future battery backup system. Our next awardee is also a former Grand Award winner in Cheris Homes. For this home in Aurora, Ohio, Cheris used an ICF foundation and windows with a 0.17 U factor. Known for their impressive marketing targeting indoor air quality, this home also includes a whole house MERV 15 air purifier along with an ERV for ventilation. For Cheris Homes, the added cost to build a zero energy ready home to zero energy ready home standards is offset by leads and traffic generated by the differentiation that the certification brings. Our next award winner is a home in Durango, Colorado by Mantel Heckathorn Builders. A family-owned company, Mantel Heckathorn has established themselves as a leading builder in the Durango area with DOE zero energy ready homes. Another Grand Award winner from last year, Mantel Heckathorn's home this year includes an R44 double wall, an R60 attic, and triple pane windows for a robust building envelope. The home also features an HRV for ventilation, hydronic radiant heating, and an aging in place design. A HERS 44 before PV, this home uses a 7 kilowatt system to get down to a HERS 14. The next winner is SD Jessup Construction, the leader in market rate certified DOE zero energy ready homes in the state of North Carolina. Triple pane windows, a heat pump water heater, and a tightly sealed envelope are part of what get this home in Pinnacle, North Carolina to a HERS 42 without PV. SD Jessup focused especially on indoor air quality, including an ERV for ventilation, in addition to indoor air quality sensors to provide feedback to the homeowner. You can see that on the slide there. Aging in place, as well as careful lighting design, make this house one that homeowners can live in for the long term. Great job there. Our next winner is a first-time Housing Innovation Award winner, Sustainable 9 Design and Build. This home in St. Paul, Minnesota uses double wall construction along with thermally broken studs, triple pane windows, and an air tightness of 0.66 ACH 50. A heat pump water heater, a ground source heat pump, hydronic radiant heating, and an ERV helped to get this home to a HERS 29 before PV and a HERS -8 with PV. As their name suggests, Sustainable 9 says, we understand the importance of lessening your home's carbon footprint and that you don't need to sacrifice quality and style to get there. That's great, and I think we see a lot of that from all of our builders. Our final winner in this category is Zero Net Now. Formerly Green Hill Contracting, this builder is a 2-time Grand Award winner. The home in Wallkill, New York is a HERS 26 before PV and a HERS -11 with PV. Until this year, this builder had built the tightest home I personally had ever heard of at 0.18 ACH 50. This home uses insulated concrete form construction along with spray foam to achieve an air tightness of 0.14 ACH 50. With a home that tight, balanced ventilation is a must. This home uses a demand-controlled ERV linked to a carbon dioxide sensors in order to optimize ventilation in the space. Anthony Ebby of Zero Net Now believes that home indoor air quality monitoring systems will become much more popular with home buyers in the future. And for our grand winner,
Hey, I just want to say with a home that tight, every time you open and close the front door, the toilet's flush. That's a pretty impressive air tightness. Okay, again, hard to believe how competitive it's gotten again this year. And the grand winner selected by the judges, Mantel Heckathorn Builders. Congratulations to them.
great job in a very competitive category. So congratulations to all of our winners so far. If you were in the previous category, please turn off your video feeds now and have our next group, Custom Homes for Buyers under 3,000 square feet. You guys can go ahead and turn your video feeds on while we launch the next boredom buster question. Give another second here. Okay. Looks like most of you got it right. The correct answer to that question is 6,479 certified homes, but who's counting, right?
And I'm shocked the I'm sorry answer didn't get more reply.
Okay, so moving on to custom homes for buyer under 3,000 square feet. Our first, let me click on this. Our first Housing Innovation Award winner in this category is Bellingham Bay Builders. This home in Friday Harbor, Washington uses a combination of ducted and ductless mini splits, along with a heat pump water heater and an HRV ventilation system. Before PV, the home reached a HERS 42, while an 8.5 kilowatt system helped get the home to a HERS -8. Throughout the pandemic, this builder shifted their marketing approach to provide more online video content to highlight the value of their homes to prospective buyers. Next, we have Farrier Custom Homes with a home in Fort Worth, Texas. A fourth-generation family-owned business, Farrier used SIPS construction and a triple-pane windows to achieve a HERS 48 without PV and a HERS 2 with PV. They also included fortified home disaster-resistant construction details for high wind, tornado, hail, and wildfire protections. The home has exceeded expectations for the homeowners, stating, "The Zero Energy Ready home has given me a superior homeowner experience." In Selah, Washington, the next award-winning home is by Leading Force, who used double wall construction, an insulated concrete form foundation, triple pane windows, and achieved an air tightness of 0.67 ACH 50. A heat pump water heater, an ERV, and a combination of ductless and ducted mini split heat pumps helped the home achieve a HERS 37 before PV. A large PV system, which not only powers the home, but also 2 electric vehicles, helped the home achieve a HERS -97 and makes for a utility bill of just $8.96 a month, the electric utility service fee. Pretty impressive. Our next winner, P3 Builder Group, is a first-time Housing Innovation Award winner. Replacing a historic barn in Sagaponack, New York, this SIPS home used 100% recycled interior materials and includes aging-in-place features. A heat pump water heater, ductless mini-split heat pumps, an ERV for ventilation, and triple-pane windows helped this home achieve a HERS 38 before PV with a HERS -24 including the PV. And our final winner in this category is TC Legend Homes, who has built the most certified DOE Zero Energy Ready homes in the state of Washington. This home in Everson, Washington, used SIPS along with an ICF foundation and triple pane windows. This home's innovative HVAC system used an air to water heat pump connected to an HRV to send heating and cooling through ventilation ducts in addition to fresh air. The homeowners couldn't be more delighted, saying, "I am astonished almost every day with how well this house works for us." Pretty cool quote there. And a fun fact about TC legend that they shared with us is sometimes during the construction process, they live together on the school bus on the construction site. So pretty cool stuff that they're doing. And Sam, I'll turn it over to you for the grand winner.
Hey, thank you, Sam. I'm going to make a wild guess that living on the school bus made a difference in the eye of the judges. The grand winner is TC Legend Homes. Congratulations.
Great, and congratulations to all of you. Everybody in that category can now turn off their videos. And we are going to go into our second intermission. For this intermission, we would like to just share with you some testimonials that we have developed. Our core message for our program is live better, and I think the next 5 minutes of this video are going to speak exactly to that. So I hope you enjoy it.
Have ever lived in. So come on in. One of the things that makes this home so wonderful is the insulation properties. Super insulated in the roof and the walls, basement floor, and most especially the windows, which are triple paned. So we can have these very large windows, bring the outside in, have it be very beautiful, and very, very cool in the summer, very warm in the winter. Very little use of the heat pump technology.
I can tell one thing that I really like, the air ventilation system that we have set up in the house. Just because I can tell a difference, especially if we're cooking or, you know, frying bacon or something like that. Usually in an older house, it'll stay in your house for, that smell would stay around for like a day or so, and here it's probably gone within hours.
The comfort level remaining constant surprised me, to where it wouldn't be that we felt we had to lower the thermostat at night or raise it up or whatever. That surprised me. We also
lived in a home that we didn't have to do that.
No.
We didn't do it.
No.
It's comfortable all the time, whether it's a 90-degree day in the summer or whether it's -10 out in the winter. The only way you know what the weather is outside is if you look outside or if you check the weather. Inside the home, you have no idea that it's -10 outside when you're standing in front of the window. And it's just, that's been really nice. And the indoor air quality has also been noticeably different than our previous home. The bedrooms all just smell fresh all the time. The bathrooms, the same, so. Our old house, we were paying about $4,000 a year to heat it. Now we pay a grand total of $250 a year, and our house doubled in size. So there's really no comparison there. And that goes across all of the other utilities, you know, lighting, appliances, sort of all the new appliances, heat pump hot water heaters, heat pump dryers. There's been significant savings on pretty much across the board.
So we really enjoy being in the house. It has a very special energy to it. It's a combination of the technology and the landscape and all of the natural materials that are used in creating it. We have spent time there during the quarantine, and it's both peaceful and relaxing. And the solar energy and the fact that we're off the grid makes it feel really good on so many different levels, but that's seamless. One would never know any of those things are going on behind the scenes.
It all boils down to this. So my executive director and I came over here last week, and they were brand new members of the chamber, and we wanted to see what the houses look like. And my boss has really bad asthma, and I have really bad allergies, and all day long, both of us, I've been rubbing my eyes all day, she'd been coughing all day, and so we come over here, and then we left, and we're like, you know what? I did not rub my eyes once while I was in the house. And she did not cough once while we were inside the house. And that, you know what, that tells you everything you need to know. These houses are amazing. So not only can they save you on energy, the filters and the way they're built are absolutely incredible.
The families that come to our program don't have the resources to buy a home on the open market. And we afford them the opportunity to own a safe and durable and sustainable home so that they can raise their families and be part of the community.
It was a dream of Habitat to continue to raise the bar and to take that next step into a zero energy home. And so today we're here by all of the efforts of the Eversource team to dedicate this home to the Walton family.
Hartford Habitat has been building Energy Star homes for several years, and it seemed like a logical next step to really talk to them about the potential of doing a zero energy home.
Many folks thought it was impossible or just too hard of a feat to try to accomplish, and to bring together all of these partners and to be able to say that we can do this, you know, for the good of this family as well as our community as well as our society. This is the step that we need to go in terms of affordable home ownership as well as sustainability in a residential setting.
A zero energy ready home is really the way of the future. From a community point of view, we've got a home that makes a zero footprint in terms of its carbon impact on the environment, which is a really great starting point.
We want to say thank you to Eversource, thank you to Habitat, thank you to everybody, all the volunteers, all the vendors, the sponsors, everybody. It was an amazing journey.
Okay, so some pretty cool stuff there. A lot of great videos. Those all came from submissions from all of you in your Housing and Innovation Award application. So thank you for sending those to us, and we'll be looking for more and hopefully be able to put some other videos like that together. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Terrence Mosley, who is going to present the next category.
Hey, thanks a lot, Sam. Just want to congratulate all of the previous winners. And just to introduce myself again, I'm Terrence Mosley. I'm a AAAS Science and Technology Policy Fellow working with the DOE Zero Energy Ready Home Program. The next category, so that those of you in the category can turn your video feed on, is for custom home innovation for custom homes built to spec. And there are 5 winners in this category that we'll cover. And like I said, just turn your video on if you're one of those 5. Our first winner is Amaris Homes. They have previously won a grand award in 2017. This home that you're seeing in Afton, Minnesota has a HERS score of 34 before PV and -2 with PV. It is built with an insulated concrete form foundation and above grade walls, has spray foam in the attic, a gas furnace for heating, and a 5-stage 19-seer heat pump for cooling. The home also includes an energy management system and indoor air quality sensors in addition to 11 kilowatts of PV. Next, we have C&B Custom Homes. And they're next with this home in Clarkdale, Arizona, which features spray foam insulation and ERV for ventilation, LED lighting, a high velocity duct cooling system, and a gas tankless water heater. The home was a HERS 44 before PV and a HERS 11 with PV. Next in the category, we have Dwell Development. They are a 2-time former grand winner. And this home that you see in Seattle, Washington used triple pane windows, a heat pump water heater, LED lighting, an aerosol air sealing system. Dwell, they take a holistic approach to building, stating that sustainable design should stand the test of time. It should reduce consumption of non-renewable resources, minimize waste, and create healthy, productive environments that are positive additions to neighborhoods. Anthony Mashmet of Dwell suggests that Zero Energy Ready Homes' why message should be efficient, live efficiently. Anthony, we'll take note of that. And the next in this category is Green Phoenix Development. Our next awardee is a first-time Housing Innovation Award winner. This gut retrofit reached a HERS 39 before PV and a HERS 19 with PV. It is insulated with spray applied mineral wool, along with rigid foam sheathing, and air sealed to an impressive 0.44 ACH 50. Green Phoenix Development is working to restore historically interesting, to use their term, properties, rather than completely demolishing them, while updating them and improving their performance. And the last in this category, the final winner, is Tim O'Brien Homes. With this home in New Berlin, Wisconsin, they use blown-in insulation in combination with continuous rigid insulation for their walls, an HRV for ventilation, LED lighting, as well as an efficient gas tank water heater and efficient furnace. Tim O'Brien Homes also partnered with a local high school building trades class that worked alongside the trades on this project to gain real-world experience building high-performance homes. An amazing fact about Tim O'Brien Homes is that they started the company at the start of the Great Recession. And I will turn it over to Mr. Raskin if you will announce the winner.
Hey, thanks so much, Terrence. And the grand winner is Amaris Homes. Congratulations and welcome to the club.
Wonderful, wonderful. Congrats to all of the custom spec winners. And please turn off your video feed now. Next, we have Innovation in Production Homes. Homes in this category. Oh, wait a minute, before we get it, I think I see a boredom buster coming up. Let's get some answers into this. How many Housing Innovation Awards ceremonies have you attended, including this year? And it's okay to estimate. So let's see, we've got, oh yeah, Fast and Furious here. They are coming in. And let's see, okay, it looks like we're slowing down now. All right, it looks like, okay, this is great. We've got a lot of first-time ceremony attendees, 47%. So that's actually great news moving forward. So thank you for attending. And now, like I said, we will move on to Innovation in Production Homes. Homes in this category are intended to be reproducible at scale using standard construction practices and plans. If you are one of the 4 winners in this category, please activate your video feed now. And while you're doing that, we will go ahead and start. We're going to start this production category with the first winner, which is Garbett Homes, with the Eclipse at Silver Creek Village in Park City, Utah. Garbett has built the most certified DOE zero energy ready homes in Utah. Garbett used blown-in insulation along with advanced framing for their walls and both blown-in and spray foam insulation in the attic. An ERV, efficient gas furnace, and gas tankless water heater provide ventilation, heating, cooling, and hot water. Next, Healthy Communities is our next winner. They have built the most certified DOE zero energy ready homes in Virginia, including this home in Walnut Farm, located in Williamsburg, Virginia. It uses a combination flash and bat insulation system in addition to insulated sheathing. An ERV provides ventilation, while a variable speed heat pump provides heating and cooling. Healthy Community is innovating digital technology in this project in partnership with building information modeling company DigiBuilt. This allows them to execute accurate design documents, bill of materials, and construction cost estimates. This apparently works for their homeowners who say Healthy Communities builds solar-powered, energy efficiency, easy to maintain, and visually stunning homes. Congrats to you guys. Next up, We have Insight Homes, who has built the most zero energy ready homes in both Maryland and Delaware. Looks like we got a race in every state. Everybody's doing the most homes. The Nelson model that you see in Millsboro, Delaware, features a panelized wall system with blown-in insulation, a dual fuel heat pump, tankless water heater, and LED lighting. Insight Homes differentiates themselves from their competition with their marketing slogan, "It's just a better house." Nice and simple message. And the last in this category is Mandalay Homes in this production category. Mandalay has built the most certified zero energy ready homes in the country. This home in the Jasper development in Prescott Valley, Arizona, uses a combination of open cell spray foam and rigid foam insulation, in addition to a hybrid water heater and an ERV. An aerosol air sealing system helps them get to a 0.6 ACH 50 on a production level. A wireless lighting system allows the homeowner easy lighting controls. Mandalay combines both battery storage and PV to minimize their peak energy requirements and qualify for significant utility incentives. Mr. Rashkin, if you will announce the winner.
Happy to do so, Terrence, and it's real exciting to announce a first-time grand winner for the Housing Innovation Awards. Judges selected Healthy Communities. Congratulations. Okay, I think I'm going to stick with the next section, which is most homes in the year. That's from June 2019 to May 2020. And that's our last award today. And I always like to announce this award each year to share how much the Department of Energy appreciates this enormous commitment to building zero energy ready home at scale. And per my earlier comments, that's because there's no path to effectively managing global climate risk that doesn't entail a movement to zero energy and zero energy ready buildings at scale. So it's with a huge admiration and gratitude that I announce this year's winner is Insight Homes, constructing 244 certified DOE zero energy ready homes right in our own backyard in Delaware and Maryland. This accomplishment and leadership are so deserving of this special recognition. Congratulations. We really, really appreciate such a tremendous commitment. Thank you. Okay, that wraps up our awards, and congratulations once again to all our winners and grand winners. Now's the time to learn valuable lessons from these industry leaders, featuring our grand winners in a panel discussion. So please stay right here with us, and we'll have that begin right away. The grand winners for all categories should please activate their video feed again as we begin the discussion. And I want to mention that immediately following the panel discussion, we'll begin the networking receptions. So, there'll be 3 receptions, one with myself on the future of DOE Zero Energy Ready Home. Those of you that were attending yesterday's roundtable probably got to see what an amazing discussion we had that I think will really inform what we talk about in that reception. In reception number 2, Terrence will lead a discussion about Zero Energy Ready Home outreach efforts as he reaches out to a whole group of stakeholders to integrate Zero Energy Ready Home in their programs, incentives, and so forth. And the last reception, number 3, my dream team from Newport will gather and talk about Zero Energy Ready Home and Housing Innovation Award participation. They manage this effort, and they're the ultimate source for feedback on that. So please join the receptions afterwards. Now we're going to move on to the grand winner panel.
And Sam, thank you so much. Just as a reminder, if you won one of those grand awards, and you could please reactivate your video feed, and also you can feel free to remove the mute unless you are going to have a lot of background noise, and then please mute yourself when you aren't speaking. And Sam, while I grab a chair, why don't you start off with the first question?
Yeah, and Joe, remind me, when's the hard stop for our session? I have one last wrap-up question I want to make to squeeze.
5 o'clock Eastern time is the hard stop.
Okay, great. So that's what we're stopping.
Yeah.
Okay, so welcome, guys. Congratulations once again. I'm so proud of you all, just like I'm proud of all the winners. But, you know, I know everyone's a little bit competitive and I'd like to get this award, so congratulations. And, you know, with the virtual format for this year, you all didn't get the opportunity to share your thoughts after being selected as the grand winner. So let's begin going around with each of you. And if you give me a short comment, what it means to you and your business to win a national award distinguishing the best of the best homes, meeting the federal government's most rigorous requirements for high performance. You're in a select, stratified air of distinguished builders. So what does this mean to you? And I'm going to get my participant list up to make sure I have everyone. Okay, let's start. Morgan and Jay, I have you on the screen, so let's start with you.
Okay, awesome. Honestly, it's a very powerful statement, and it's one of my favorite ways to start off a conversation when I'm actually selling a zero energy ready home. People really crave quality, and they just love everything about zero energy ready homes as I walk them through. And it's awesome to get to sell a product that I believe in, and one that all of the building attributes are really selling points in themselves.
Yeah, not only do they crave quality, I believe the housing purchase may be one of the ones that we are least informed about and don't know how to trust. So I think it's also maybe they crave maybe the trust that comes from being so distinguished too, huh?
They do, and it's a transparency that that you give them, especially the way we do our marketing with walking them through the homes. They love getting to see all the different, the ERV, the air handler, an example of our wall from the inside out. And I feel like it's a security that they get when I explain it all to them, and they love it.
Yeah, my recommendation is show your wall side by side with a bare bones 2x4 framed wall and show the difference. Kevin, you're up next. What would you say in your minute speech to accept your award?
Oh, well, first, congrats to all the other winners. I know this has been a really tough year for everybody. So, good on you for putting in the hard work. But I think, stepping back and looking at this was a year where I think all of us have had to make a lot of tough decisions, and it could be easy for us to step back and say, I'm not going to focus on some of these other more difficult aspects and third-party verifications, and it could be an opportunity to just kind of take the easy way out. But I think we've each gone the opposite direction and looked at the benefits that this type of program brings, and it gives our customers the comfort that we are still putting that focus on healthy homes, durable homes, and things that are even more meaningful to them in an environment like this. So we really have stressed the importance of this type of program and made sure that our vendors and our partners and our sales team and everybody is still 100% bought into the effort because we see it's worthwhile.
How about you, Chris McElvey from Hartford area, Habitat for Humanity? What would you say in your 1 minute?
I think it's an absolute honor to receive this award, and being able to highlight not just our affiliate, but the other Habitat affiliates to show that you can build affordable housing and achieve these rigorous standards. And I think that's really important for the future of home building, to have affordable housing that can also be extremely energy efficient, comfortable for families.
Great. And Rick Wertheim from United Way, what would you say?
Oh, I would say we're in great company, and I'm really honored to be amongst the builders who are really top 2%. And many of us, we kind of chose the path of most resistance, not the least resistance. It's not the easiest project to build, but it really is the best project. And it's best for a number of reasons, because innovation is it's really not about most of the details in the house. It's how we integrate products that are innovative. Manufacturers are being innovative, and we want to include their projects, their products. We used the Digibuilt BIM model because that's really improved our productivity because of the things that we couldn't control. This was one thing. We got a hand on our labor. We got a better visual on the project as it was moving through construction. Mechanicals are getting tougher. So I just say that housing today more than ever has become healthcare. And as people shelter in place, the projects that we all build together are probably one of the best things that could happen to the housing industry.
That's great. Thanks so much. One of my favorite Myers, Steve Myers, what would you say?
I think the biggest thing for us is that our team has gotten, we've become pretty obsessed with keeping our streak alive. And so one of the biggest things for us is feeling like, you know, getting it that one more year. And it's a huge thing for our team to kind of rally around and get excited about every year. And, you know, it's often people like Gene or myself or Bill that are up here accepting these awards, but it's just such a great recognition for the efforts of our whole team. And obviously anybody on this call knows what a combined joint effort it really is to get one of these houses built. And just because you drew it doesn't mean you can build it, doesn't mean you can bid it, doesn't mean you can sell it, doesn't mean you can service it, right? It's really it's a joint effort all the way from the initial land acquisition all the way to customer care at the very end. And so it's just such a great opportunity to really recognize, you know, the efforts of our entire team in getting these houses built and built well.
That's great. Thanks so much. How about Greg and Hunter from Mentel Hackathon? What do you guys think?
So first, I just want to thank Sam, Jamie, Joe, all the guys that, you know, are helping make this happen. You guys are amazing. Yep. Yeah. So, and the other thing, you know, I think it's a recognition, you know, just that Tara and I built a zero energy ready home for ourselves, and we couldn't be happier. And that's just a recognition of how much we believe in the house. Hunter, his wife Miranda, did the same thing a couple years ago. And I mean, that speaks volumes. And, you know, so.
It does.
Yeah, I mean, again, I agree with all of that. We believe in the system. We, you know, we love it. And I think it's a differentiator. And for us, it's a differentiator in a market where our code is like 2006. So that's what everybody else is building to. So that's the threshold. And that's what everybody else can, you know, is, you know, that's all they care about. So for us, it's a differentiator, but in leaps and bounds in a better way. And so for us, I think that's what we hang our hat on, is that this is a program that just goes well above and beyond current codes and future codes. So.
And I think one last thing is it also speaks, I can remember a couple of years ago, just Sam's presentation about, you know, climate change. And so this, you know, it's kind of a subtle message in this 4 years, but the big picture is what we're doing is unique and it will impact, and that's what the future is.
Yeah, with your examples, it will for sure. And that brings us to Ted Clifton Jr. How about you? And thanks for some great comments yesterday in the roundtable. Ted, what would be your 1 minute message?
Oh, thanks, Sam. We're really excited to get another Housing Innovation Award. This has been a long process for us since building our first zero energy house in Seattle about 10 years ago, and then realizing, wow, we could really make this our benchmark. So the zero energy ready home is our, you know, our baseline. And really we're trying to look for, you know, net positive to handle another third of that, you know, climate change, energy use being transportation. So if all the houses we build can power themselves and power an electric car or 2 or 3. And also, you know, if we can cut down our embodied carbon. We were just at a building conference a couple of weeks ago where one of the presenters shared with us this embodied carbon calculator. So we can, you know, kind of look at some of those things and maybe even reduce that down a little bit. Then we've really got most of our climate change issues solved. And so now we're sitting back and trying to figure out how to go from doing custom homes at 3 or 4 a year, where I don't know how a custom home builder could build more than that, because I can't even answer the phone, you know, or write all the emails. I mean, 4 houses and we are so maxed out. But if we could move to spec building where and to teach other crews to kind of do some of our techniques, I could see how we could go to 10 a year, and then maybe, I don't know, 15, or maybe, we got a 20-year plan going on, really. But see if we can kind of ramp this up to do a lot more. And so, and maybe encourage a lot of other builders to do the same thing. So
It's a journey.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hey, you bet. And Ray, Pruban, can you bring us home? Your
Sure.
1 minute message?
Yeah, so I've been working on the building green homes now for about 13 years. And honestly, I think a lot of days we kind of forget that we are doing something special. It just seems normal, like, oh, this is not a big deal. Not that it is an extra effort or anything, but it is part of our daily routine and what we do. And I think we forget that it's actually something that's unique out there. And so it's a good, winning the award. When I first came to this, I think maybe 7 or 8 years ago, honestly, this group of builders, it was very, and continues to be, really inspirational. These builders are doing fantastic things. And when I come home, I always think, man, we can do a lot better. And so it's a motivational thing and inspirational to continue on. And listening yesterday to what some of the builders are doing, it makes me dig in and say, okay, what's the next thing? How do we get better?
We've done nothing else but make you appreciate how significant what you do is. We've done everything we hoped for. So that's great to hear. Thank you, Ray. And I'd love to just get one more question before I hand over maybe to Joe for the next one. If each of you had to cite the single biggest challenge, and just one, confronting the housing industry over the next 1 or 2 years, what would that be? I'm going to repeat it to give you time to get your thoughts together, but if each of you can cite just one biggest challenge confronting the housing industry over the next 1 or 2 years, what would you cite? And Ray, while you're on the screen, let me go back and go reverse order. Why don't you go first?
I think we're confronting the perfect storm here over the next 5 to 10 years with cost, labor, materials, and the big elephant in the room that we don't talk about a lot is interest rates. And so I just very worried about, how do we continue to bring housing as a housing group in the country to the different income levels out there and remain affordable and competitive. I think we're at the perfect storm. It's very concerning.
I'm with you. That's a great call. Okay, going reverse order. Ted Clifton, younger, junior, you're up.
I think it's education. I think if everybody really knew what was possible and what we can do, I mean, we build market rate net zero energy homes. And I think if everyone knew that, people just wouldn't accept any less. We're having an issue where they're building 3 new elementary schools in town, and they all have gas boilers. And these are buildings they want to last 50 to 100 years, and they're putting huge room-sized gas boilers in them. And they just, they just don't know. And so it's education is the real key.
Great. Hey, Greg and Hunter, I'll give you one each. So why don't you guys go next?
I think I want to see energy codes raised nationwide.
That's a great comment, by the way. Yeah.
I think I think materials. I mean, for us, in our area, maybe not so much on labor force. We're a small town, but I think we will see an increase and we already have an increase in demand for people moving to our area. We're a smaller mountain town, so I think that will be a challenge, is to bring, again, a quality, high efficiency product, but for a cheaper price point that can be afforded by more than we've in the past built for. I think that will be a challenge.
Yeah, Hunter, people can now live in beautiful places like Durango and telecommute and work almost anywhere. So yeah, I would expect a lot of people. Yeah. Okay, so after that, Steve Myers, what would you cite as your biggest challenge?
I think from our perspective, it's hard not to just use the word constraints to capture so many of these things that we're talking about, but that's very much what we're looking at too. There are so many valves and limiters that prevent us from doing as much as it feels like we could do. And I would say in the Denver metro area, for us, just finding land. I mean, right now the buyers are there and hopefully they will continue to be that. But finding enough land at, the kind of terms that we can make a market rate product really happen. That's just one of the biggest challenges. And that goes straight down to local regulatory and zoning decisions about what kind of product they want and what kind of homes they want, or if they even want any in their communities. Those are the challenges of us really trying to, I think that's the story of the next year or two for us, for sure.
That's great. Hey, thanks. And Rick, how about you? What would you cite?
Well, a couple of things, really. For me, it's always going to be workforce, because for us as builders, we're only as good as the folks who are able to man the job sites and get the work done and actually be practitioners in the field. It's really important that we give a next generation of folks looking to get into the industry the tools that they need to be successful at high performance home building.
That's great. Okay. Chris, why don't you bring us home? What would be, no, we have two more. Chris, what would you say is the biggest challenge?
I think for us, it'll be affordability in the long term. We rely heavily on funding from different organizations, whether it's the government supporting us through different grant funds or corporations or businesses donating to us. So being able to continue this trend and encourage the companies that make these products to help showcase them on Habitat Homes so we can provide affordable outlets for it.
Great. And Kevin, what would you say?
I think when we're looking at different size builders on the production side, we tend to agree with the guys like Thrive that land is a difficult position for us right now. Trying to find affordable land in order to keep our homes affordable. We do build market rate homes at the zero energy level, and it is difficult to find land affordably. But I think more globally for across the builder profile, it would be more of a supply chain issue and manufacturers just being subject to so many supply chain interruptions, whether or not it's appliances, windows, siding, lumber. It's just manufacturers across the board are having to readjust their business models to be able to deal with the global climate, and supply chain is really impacting costs and our schedules.
Excellent. And Morgan and Jay, you're last up. Single biggest challenge in the next few years?
Well, there's probably two, Sam. One is really what we're doing now. It's as far as our designs and these awards, and we've been here for many a year, but what you're finding is that it's simpler for us to build what we build today. That's the reason we're adding so many other builders in to the system. The problem in the future is going to be doing it affordable. As I see in the new 2021 code, and I review it, it's really the death of the affordable single family home. We've got to be very careful in the future about, moving everybody into an apartment. I don't want my grandchildren, my daughter's children to be in that type of scenario. So we really have to start thinking about creating a hybrid affordable building code that gives exception, because what we're building today is exceptional. In fact, and I think it's across the board with everybody, have you noticed one thing happening as far as your testing? We're not being tested fairly. Our homes are outperforming what the test numbers are. So that's the foundation that's being created for building the next building code level. So we're seeing that crack in that foundation, and we need to step back and say, hey, we're building a great home, but we really need to create a hybrid affordable building code that allows us to continue on the affordable single family home level. The other thing that we have to worry about, and I'll do twofold and I'll stop, but is it's the next housing bubble. Right now, and I've listened to everybody speaking, we're talking about land costs. After land costs, we look at material costs, and we've just gone through this unbelievable bubble of lumber going from $400 a thousand board feet to $850, and we've had to adjust our pricing. And it's just that bubble is there, and as interest rates are kept low, and we're getting people locked in at 2.25%, or fixed over 30 years, there's no need to pay cash for your home because it's better to finance it. So we're seeing that this is going to end. And I was there in 2008. I was there in 1978. And we need to be aware of that. So as a developer, we need to look at what that future is going to be and take care of what we're doing. And that's what we've alluded to in the conversations.
That's great. Watch out for the 8 years. I hear you loud and clear. Okay, great. Joe, did you want to inject a question?
Sure. So we're here today to celebrate your successes as some of the leading builders in the country. But I'm sure along the way, a lot of you have run into some bumps in the road. And I'd love it if you could share an example of a mistake or a lesson learned where the experience has helped you to build better, deliver better, sell better, zero energy ready homes. So what from your vast experience can you pass along to your audience as something that maybe didn't work so well and you found a better way to do it? And I think I'll start with Rick.
So I was afraid you wouldn't come to me first, Joe, because
just on my list.
The amount of mistakes, I can't even fill this room. So, but I can tell you that every sort of challenge that came in front of us, we were able to move through, which is the good part of it. But some mistakes, John Barrows is out there, and he and I will tell you both that we made the mistake of building a SIPS house in a municipality that didn't even know what a SIPS house was. And we failed our insulation inspection with a SIPS house. And knowing that you're going to bring a new detailed technology or process to an area that doesn't have that would probably be my biggest mistake, not knowing the environment in which we're building. So there's many builders here who claim that there's really no problems with their inspectors. If you're dealing with building inspection agencies or municipalities that are villages or small cities, or we work in an area on Long Island that's 3 million people. We have 26 different school districts. We have 42 different building jurisdictions. To be able to navigate the product that we're building, which, by the way, I like LEED, I like Passive House, I like NGBH, I like all that stuff, but I love the Zero Energy Ready Home program because it does the best for the product that we're doing for our particular industry. So for me to bring that technology to these different areas, I would probably take a trip to the building department with a carton of donuts and say, hey, let's talk about some interesting stuff that we can build together.
I would have been happy to send you a letter, Rick, saying you can't fail an insulation inspection with a technology where insulation by laws of physics cannot go in wrong. So it's incredible.
If I didn't share with you the denial letter for this insulation and failing the insulation inspection, you can't even make this up, Sam.
That's incredible.
And by the way, we do not recommend emailing Sam Rashkin for your code compliance approval. That will not work. Greg and Hunter, you're next.
Go ahead. Let's see. I'd say it was probably finding the right wall system. We definitely had some challenges there of finding the balance between cost and performance.
Remind us, Hunter, what you settled on.
Double stud wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did 2-inch outbound foam. We did SIPs. So for us, it was double stud wall framing.
So it's funny, 2 Colorado builders settled on the same solution, Thrive and you guys.
Yeah.
Except they just built about 900 more homes than we do.
That doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Yeah, I think as far as a mistake, I think one of our biggest challenges might be a little side subject, but as far as the sale of zero homes, we're still looking at that perfect market pitch, because our clients come to us for quality, and then we say, here's the program. You have no choice. And because we believe in it and all our former clients believe in it. So a little side tangent.
Let's have that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, how about Ray?
I think in terms of mistakes made and lessons learned, is probably just two brief things. One is, don't be the first to do new products. Don't believe the manufacturer's, hype. Do your due diligence, research, talk to other builders. But I've kind of made it a rule. I don't go first anymore. So I might be second or third, but I don't want to be first. Let someone else do that. And then I think along those same lines is, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. So, sort of evaluating the cost benefit analysis, I think early on, especially with the point-based system like in LEED, just you do anything you can. And now I'm becoming more critical, if that's the right word, of what makes sense, reevaluating cost versus performance, those types of things.
That's great. And do you have anything where you feel like you've got a key innovation that's really great at that cost versus performance balance?
Well, I mean, like they were talking about the wall system. I just sent a message on that, but like we've looked at different systems, and for example, we've been doing our own foam over the studs, but not a zip wall system or anything like that, where we just buy the foam. And I found that to be 1-inch foam over the studs, and then we've done some houses at 2 that actually, with the 2-inch foam with a bigger nailer, automated nailer, is pretty effective. And so versus when I analyze cost versus, say, a zip wall system, for example. So
it's amazing how you guys get different answers. I was looking to see if Scott Sanders was on the line. I had him speak to this topic, but Scott in Chicago really looked at this with a lot of exhausting comparisons and cost benefit analysis. And in a climate as cold as Colorado, he came up with a staggered stud advanced framing wall. So you have 2x4s staggered on a 2x6. And I think he may or may not use rigid. I don't think he does. But anyway, so he gets a continuous thermal break. That's his ultimate lowest cost wall assembly. He's round the numbers 1,000 ways, and that's the one he came up with, which is what's interesting is that all of you will look at the same problem. How do I most cost effectively get a high performance wall? And due to a lot of regional differences and pricing and comfort levels, you all choose a different approach. It's interesting.
Thanks, Sam. Kevin, could you go next?
Sure. I think ours is some of the lessons that we learned ties to some of the mistakes. And I think the mistake we made was maybe complicating some of the message on high performance to customers. I mean, there's so much information out there about the benefits of building high performance and explaining all the different components to it. And that message tends to just be a flood of information, and you want to share each component of it, but it can just be too much while still trying to sell customers on the rest of the home buying process. And we've also been competing with other builders that don't participate in programs like this. However, they create their own standards, which people think are just as valid as maybe the zero energy program. They get great branding and marketing around it, but they don't have the third-party verification. So the lesson we learned is, hey, the DOE has actually put out some really good stuff over the last year or so that's simple to understand. And we learned, let's rely more heavily on the information that has been made available from the program, because it does really pare down the message and people have received it well. So, I mean, to your guys' credit, you guys did a good job over the last year, and maybe Sam and Sam Bowles and the rest of you guys have been working on it. That has been a pretty good lesson learned here of, there is information out there that you got to tap into.
Boy, speaking of that, I just got an email message during the awards that the 2 new videos, which are really, really good videos, will be ready on Friday. So Sam Bowles will probably get them posted in the next few weeks. So check those messages out. I think they really speak to both the health and the future value of the biggest investment of a lifetime. So check those out too.
And while those videos are great, it's really disappointing that Sam was reading his email during the award ceremony.
During the intermission.
Right, got it. Thanks. Next up, we have Morgan and Jay.
Well, it's, we've gone pretty much, and I'm the old guy in the room. I'm not the oldest guy in the room, but the old guy in the room. But I've gone through five years of awards. I've gone through the, before it was the Energy Star, before it was the Value Engineered Award, things like that. And I've kind of grown up in this industry. But it seems to me today our equipment is great. We used to complain at the round table a few years back about issues that we had with the equipment. The equipment's there. And the design is simple, at least in my zone 4. It's policing and making sure that your design is followed. And one thing I would tell everybody is that the Manual J, we've got these high performance systems. Don't let the heating and cooling guys do the Manual J. Have a third party to do them, so we know that we're getting the true efficiency. No reason to have something that's as efficient as what we're using, and then all of a sudden it's been oversized. And by oversized, I mean we only need a 2-ton and we're putting a 3-ton in. What we found is with our systems, the variable speed compressors, that our 2-ton works with an 1,800 square foot home, and it works with a 3,000 square foot home. Having those different stages, we've just got it all made at home. And what I was hearing earlier, as far as the numbers, no more numbers, no more SEER value, no more MERV rating. Stay away from the numbers. U value, R value. Start talking about the senses. One thing I was involved with last year was tranquility with Train. And we start talking about things like the feel. Have you ever experienced a July day that your home would never cool down? Or that cool February evening that it would never get warm? And it just continues on the site. Realize that your management program that's operating all your equipment, and now it can talk to each other, and now you've got alarms that go off. Make sure you know how to use it, because it's important. You can actually go online now and take the same heating and cooling courses that the mechanic is using, that's installing your product. So know that touch, what you're feeling. And we talked about before about the clarity of the air, about the dust particles. One other thing is, have your client touch the window, because we don't even put shades up, because the reflection, that green tone going out takes the heat, and you can feel the coolness reflecting in. So that touch is very important to everyone. So that's what I'm telling you today, is that we're here. We just need to follow the prescription. In other words, read how to take the medicine and make sure how it's installed is proper.
Thanks so much, Jay. Ted?
Yeah, so I guess I get bored quickly with things that work too well. So I'm always looking for some way to do something different. So I kind of tend to live right on that bleeding edge, or else I lose my focus. So that ends up with me flirting with all these chillers, all these air-to-water heat pumps, and I've installed so many of them. I started doing them myself just because we couldn't get heating installers to install these things because nobody knew what they were or how to deal with them. And we had this brief little moment of glory when we were installing the Daikin Altherma, and they all work great and there's no problems and I never get any callbacks. But then at this point, I've installed so many of them, it's almost like a callback a week with these. And, mini splits and heat pump water heaters, they work great. Nobody ever calls you, but these chillers are like another 20% more efficient. So you can get these amazing numbers out of them. You get this amazing heating, cooling, domestic hot water all out of one unit. And so I keep putting these things in, and I keep going and fixing them and tinkering with them. Yeah, I guess when I finally get one right, I'll let all you guys know.
Great. Thanks, Ted. Stephen?
Joe, I'll admit that I actually laughed to myself when you asked the question because I was having a hard time thinking of anything that we didn't first do poorly before we did it well. And I think that's maybe just actually how improving works, right? So anyway, I mean, it was kind of a, wow, take your pick from a list of about, 100 things. And I think everybody in this community of builders has gotten numerous opportunities to beat their head against the wall on something that was supposed to work on paper that failed to work in implementation. So I'm going to take a slightly different tack, though, while sharing many stories that have already been shared, was that I think one thing that's personally for me has been really important is kind of understanding the difference between sales and marketing. I think historically we've put so much stock into what happens on the sales floor. And you got to tell them this, and you got to tell them that, and you got to claim credit for this. I mean, and that's in the context of having to answer questions about pricing and financing and picking out a lot and dealing with competing product and dealing with objections. I mean, that's an awful lot to put on the sales department, and they'll do the best they can with the time they've got, with the time they're allotted. But one of the most important things to me, and that I've really focused on in my career at Thrive, especially in the last couple of years, is having a marketing message that supports them and not just putting it on the sales department to claim it all, because you can't. There's not enough time in the day to make sure that you check every box about all these cool things. And what a great opportunity COVID has given us, because it's really forced the interaction to be virtual and taking place on the internet anyway, which is kind of probably where it already was. But it's really forced us as builders to embrace that, just like we talked about in the keynote this morning. And that gives us so many more opportunities to talk about all the things that set us apart, rather than relying on an hour or two appointment on a Saturday somewhere. So just figuring out the difference between marketing and sales and making sure each of those things is doing the best it can with the tools it has available to support the overall effort.
Great, thank you. And last in this question, Chris McKelvey.
I think for us, the overarching theme was education, both for ourselves and our homeowners. Unfortunately, I learned pretty late in the game how much information the DOE actually has on their website. I was just leaning so heavily on our home energy rater to sort of guide us and tell us what steps to follow. And it was probably halfway through the build that I realized, oh, this is why we're doing it. Here's all these great resources that can show us some of the methods available. And then for our homeowners, they've been in the house for a year now, and it's still a matter of checking in regularly. They're first-time home buyers to understand how these systems work, why it's really important to know when your HRV is running and not have multiple windows open at the same time. Just things that a first-time home buyer doesn't understand, and really walking them through the process so they have a better picture of why these systems are in place and how they can benefit the most from them.
Thank you. And Sam, we have 10 minutes left, which means it's time for your final question. And each of our participants, with 8 of you, really should keep your answers to about a minute. And then we can finish on time with your last question, Sam.
Yeah, I hate to be too heavy with the last question, but these are extraordinary times. And it's the elephant in the room, isn't it? And what I'm trying to say, there's an unprecedented convergence of about 5 global crises that eventually have to come around to the housing industry. There's a health crisis, there's an economic crisis, there's a climate crisis, there's social justice crisis, and incredibly, there's a national, state, and local debt crisis. And they're all happening at once at levels we've never seen before. And leadership is about recognizing challenges and seeing a path forward. And what would each of you, as a leading builder, I believe, at the front of the industry, want to convey to other builders about our future in light of these challenges? And not trying to just dwell on what's wrong, but just seeing a path forward. What would you want to convey? I think it's a fitting way to kind of close this session. And 2 words, no pressure. And I'm going to start with my list from the bottom to the top. Kevin, what's your thinking about how all this impacts you as in your company?
Well, I mean, there's a lot going on out there. I mean, there's no shortage of drama, and there's no shortage of challenges. And it's difficult, especially with everybody working remotely too, to keep everybody focused and figure out how to navigate through all this. I think one of the biggest challenges we're actually facing is we have a staff of over 75 people, and keeping everybody positive in such a difficult time. Kids going back to school, and everybody sees the challenges going on everywhere, and the climate is so tense that just giving everybody a little bit of confidence that remain focused. We've been doing this for a long time. We have good systems, good processes in place. We are able to work our way through these challenges, but we do need to make sure that we don't communicate a lot of that panic and fear to the customers, because the customers are just as uneasy right now. They're looking at jumping into the market and taking advantage of the low interest rates, but one little thing can change, and all of a sudden it then makes them second guess their decision. So remaining calm in the face of all this fear and communicating that calm to your customers is extremely important, and giving them the confidence that you have a good team and you are able to work through this.
That was great. Thanks so much, Kevin. I guess Jay and Morgan, how would you respond?
I would basically talk about, and we tell our clients, tomorrow's home is here today. Not the house of the future, but tomorrow's home is here today. And that this is an opportunity to, because of the inherently low interest rates, we have an opportunity here today to purchase a home, especially with the affordable buyer. There's never been a better opportunity. Interest rates being so low, you can qualify for the people that are working, and a majority are working right now, at least in our area. So we're seeing that where the affordable product is on the market for 1 or 2 days, they're sold. For the retiree that's coming into the marketplace, they're looking for that healthy home. And this gives them that opportunity, and an unbelievable opportunity, because they can keep their nest egg. In other words, instead of paying cash, because they go from buying one home to another and they've got cash, they're retired. But keeping that cash and taking advantage of those low interest rates, that's what we're seeing is our sales moving forward over the next a year to 2 years. And then I'll conclude with one piece, and then being the old guy again, I'll go back and we'll talk about 2007, 2008. When we were coming out of the recession the last time, housing never led. We are leading out of the recession this time, and that is the future of our industry, taking the lead today.
Yeah, we didn't lead because we caused it in 2007, but that's okay. Let's go with Ray, you're next.
So, not to sound like a cliche, but the one constant is change. And so I'm old enough. I mean, we keep on talking about who's the oldest in the club here. I'm definitely probably at that award. So, you know, when COVID hit, my wife and I sat and watched this unfold, and we thought we had seen everything. And yet here's one more thing. And now, you know, protests and all these things. And so the one constant is definitely change. And for us personally, you know, we're a little older, but, you know, we got hurt really bad in the 07, 08 timeframe. And so we committed, you know, that our debt structure was going to be extremely conservative. And so that as problems come up like it did this time, honestly, for us, there was no fear of, you know, some of the fears that we went through last time around with being able to service, you know, debt structure and things like that. So my thing to builders is, you know, yes, grow, absolutely, be forward thinking, but also be conservative with cash management and how you're structuring your business. And so that when things happen that are unexpected, I mean, things are going to happen, that you can weather it and come out on the other side stronger, because other builders won't, you know, be prudent. And that's an opportunity for the ones who are, you know, fiscally sound.
Yeah, thanks, Ray. Ted, besides buying more buses, what's on your mind?
I would say don't be afraid of change. You know, the building industry is definitely slow to change, and it may be because we all learned all this stuff from our fathers and grandfathers, but there's tons of new technology and interesting things out there, and sometimes you get kind of you know, get in trouble with doing too much new technology all at once. But yeah, my advice would be don't be afraid to change and try something new.
Great. Greg and Hunter, you guys?
30. There you go.
Advice to other builders?
Yeah. Thinking future.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, thinking future, you know, with all these epic.
Thinking future, I think, yeah, it's to, again, we have the opportunity to grow with the demand that's coming down the pipeline, but I think it is to do it conservatively and carefully, kind of like Ray said. Don't overextend yourself. Do it in a smart way.
Yeah, and I'm with Ray in the sense that, you know, we number one, I say as builders, we've been categorized into essential services, and so we've been very fortunate. We've tried to reach out to our community to help, healthcare workers, other people who are in the world are hurt right now. We've tried to, the benefit, the money we've made, we've tried to share some of that. And so I think it's just a sense of optimism and just social responsibility. Also, it's also incumbent upon us as builders to help make things better in many, many ways.
That's great. Thanks so much. Steve, you're up again. One final question.
So it's a doozy of a question, Sam, but I'll answer it this way. Just in two specific aspects of what's going on around us is that the West is on fire again, and we've been breathing wildfire smoke in Denver for, I don't know, a good solid month now. And simultaneously, you've got the biggest health crisis any of us have ever seen in our lifetimes. And it's tempting to think that plays right into our playbook as high performance builders here. And that's true, but one of the things that I suppose I worry about a little bit is that eventually, the big code, who's going to truly commercialize this and bring it to the market at large scale? And I keep thinking that, I sort of fear the scenario where the big code minimum builders eventually just figure out that, well, we can go grab this and do it. And none of it, I would think we all know it's never that easy, but ultimately, I want this community of builders to be the one that wins from this and takes the opportunity to grab more market share, because that we have to grow our market share to make more of an impact, right? I mean, that's just the numbers of it. Because today we're a vanishingly small proportion of what the very large public code minimum builders do. And so I guess it's maybe a bit of a call to action that it's incumbent on us not just to build great houses, but to be the very best businesses that we can be, which means that we have to try our best to excel in every area, whether it's, you know, the not terribly exciting stuff like accounting, finance, lending, borrowing structures, all the way to innovative marketing and taking better care of our customers. Just every single one of those things. I mean, we can't just let our high performance features be a tiebreaker between us and that one other competitor that's not. I want to win in regulation, and I want this group to win in regulation without relying on overtime to overwhelm the competition and blow them out.
That's a great response. Thanks so much, Steve. Rick.
So Sam, the question's really interesting. You pretty much described Armageddon, all of those, the confluence of all of those events are pretty substantial, but on the positive side, from chaos comes opportunity, right? So this is our opportunity to bring to the front that we've always been trying as a group to do. Let's bring some more emphasis to IAQ in homes. Let's bring some emphasis to health. This is really first and foremost in people's minds. At the same time, we should be really talking about the life cycle cost and trying to dispel that first cost versus life cycle cost myth and what building this product really means to the community. So if we have this opportunity and people are finally listening, and we can focus on the aspects of what a zero energy ready home can provide to them, I think we should focus on that rather than the craziness that surrounds us. And by the way, my boss, Teresa, just walked into the room and said, hey, did you win the award? And I said, we did. So what better timing is that, right? It's all about timing.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing I would just add, Rick talked about, you know, so in the country with evictions being held off and because of the COVID-19 response, a lot of people don't recognize that government has said, hey, it's not from an economic platform that we don't want people to pay their rent. It's that people who are homeless and are sort of underhoused, right, are, if in fact they're then evicted, they're not safe at home. And safe at home and being safe at home and being healthy at home is really important. So we've taken this strategy programmatically from a place of safe at home, health at home, and created a program around people staying and being safe and healthy in their home, which I think sort of for the person who is not necessarily the scientist can understand what that means, and we've got to be able to accent on that in a very big way, because I think the country now more than ever has to really understand the intersection of health and safety due to a pandemic, and living in an environment that is healthier and safe is better, quite frankly, than a lot of the places that people now are calling home. So I think it's really an appropriate time frame to bridge that intersection.
Hey, it's so great to have you join us. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, Chris, no pressure. Bring us home.
I would chime off of what everybody's been saying, but say that for us, I think having the guidance of the DOE outline what they expect for a zero energy home and having the evidence to support it is huge in motivating us to achieve those goals. So if the DOE comes up with a game plan for here's the best way you can build to create a fortified home or a fire resistant home, or to face all these environmental challenges that we find ourselves in, is a great resource for us. And so we respect and appreciate the information you put out there.
Hey, thanks so much, Chris. And thanks to all of you. You're great panel. We could have gone on much longer. I really appreciate you staying over and sharing your insights. Here's to another great year, to seeing you all in person. I miss you all so much. Have a great conference, and thanks again. Joe, any last word?
Just join us at the networking reception. Sam made it sound like we're presenting, but we're really just hanging out and talking. So please come and have some fun and chat with us for a little while.
You're so judgmental, Joe.
Yeah, that's right. I have to give you a hard time when I get a chance now that we don't see each other all the time. But go in through the eBahuva app and join us at the networking receptions. I'm going to be launching it now. So have a great night, everybody.
Thank you all for staying a few extra minutes. Bye.